Hi, creative friends. This is Soraya, and thank you so much for being here. So I thought I was done with this, but I am not. So I was looking at this, and there are parts of it that I really do love, and there are also parts of it that I'm just not feeling. So before I turned the camera on, I was trying to kind of figure out like what exactly do I not like about this, and basically just to recap, I put an under painting of neutrals, like mostly grays, rather than the ultramarine blue, because I'm stretching myself, I'm pushing myself. This is part of my 100-day project, and I want each portrait to be just a little bit different because I want to learn from it. So my go-to is to use ultramarine blue, but I said, you know what, I really do love grays. I love neutrals, so I was going to do an underpainting of wherever I would put the ultramarine blue, I put a gray. Now, one of the things that happened is that ultramarine blue is a different scientifically, it has a different paint structure than the grays. So I started getting a lot of blooming that I don't get with my blues. And that kind of threw me off a little bit. But I think the thing I don't mind the blooming, and I've covered most of it up anyways. But I think the thing that really is kind of like not sitting right with me is the fact that I want it to be a little bit more dramatic. Like with my ultramarine blues, I get like a lot of the deep, dramatic, shadowy parts that I don't see them here. And the grays, this is too much of a light to mid-tone, and I'm missing the really dark tones that I can get with ultramarine blue. And if I put the gray in too dark a tone, it is going to show up as almost like a black. And I don't know, like I'm sure there are master painters who would know how to use the black very masterfully in their shadows, but I do not know how to do that. Like I think I would just turn it into a big mess. So what I decided to do is I'm not going to use my ultramarine blue, even though I really want to. But I am going to just work on it by adding like, some collage and maybe my tea bags. And then, I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe doing like mixing my burnt sienna ink that I love to use for my skin tones. I'm thinking about mixing that with just a drop of Payne's Gray to darken it and use that for my shadows. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know how that's all going to pan out. But I also just, while I work here, putting this collage and stuff, I just wanted to say that, I made a video about working from project to project. Like I think I called it a cross-pollination of ideas. Like it's really important for me to work on different things. Like I go from, Connie Solera's art journal to the 100-day project to healing ancestral trauma to this, to that, to whatever. And creatively, one of the the most important reason to work in that way is the cross-pollination of ideas. And I made a whole video about that. But what I want to just mention here is that there's another reason to go from project to project, and that is to give you like a little bit of a break as well, because like I've been working on my healing ancestral trauma journal, and I love working in it. I mean, there might come a point where it might get a little too much and I might need to take a bit of a break, but I love working in it. Like I want to work in it all the time, but it is really heavy. It's it is, I don't want to say it's difficult. It's not difficult, but I was talking about energies. There's lighter energies and there's more dense energies, and it's very dense. So as much as I love working in it, it's nice to just kind of give myself a break and come and work on something like the 100-day project, because it's got a much lighter energy. It's like, oh, over here I just have to focus on just, this and this and this, and I'm not dealing with the heavier stuff that I'm dealing with in my healing ancestral trauma. So, it's also like good for me to work going back and forth because I can give myself a break. Now, if I don't work in that book for a while, I start craving to work in it. Like I'm drawn to work in it. I want to go work in it. So it's not like I'm, I don't want to work in it. That's not it at all. But, sometimes I just need a little bit of a break. And so this gives me like that break. And then like now I'm not frustrated with this. I don't like it, but I'm not frustrated. I actually want to work on it because it's like a little bit of a break from my, my healing ancestral trauma. And then when I'm done with this, then I'm going to be like, oh, I really miss working in that. So, I go back and forth. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. Anyways, I'm just like adding some collage and just building up the face a little bit. I have to say, you guys, I am a little bit nervous about adding the Payne's Gray to my burnt sienna. I don't know, I'm thinking it's gonna get to be like an umber, but the thing is I have to use very little of the Payne's Gray. Like I have a heavy hand, but I gotta just be so careful because I don't want it to turn into like, a really dark puddle. Now I have seen, especially the Dutch masters, and they just use black, like, oh my God, it's so masterful, like the way they use it. Yeah, but I think if I do that, it's just gonna turn into a big mess, honestly. I'm gonna regret it. So anyways, here goes. I'm putting some of my burnt sienna. This is my Liquitex burnt sienna ink, and I'm gonna mix it with this, which is my chalk paint and ink, but it's like a Payne's Gray. So I'm just gonna put like a drop because even the slightest little bit is going to affect it. So I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Yeah, see, so I am getting a really beautiful kind of a brown here. Oh yeah, okay, I'm really liking that. So this is like an umber, I would say. And I just want to kind of like put some of that in the shadows here. So the way I look at you guys, like if I go back to using my ultramarine blue, like after this, I still look at this as a win, even if I'm not happy with it, even if it, turned into a big mess or whatever it is. I still look at it as a win because I learned something from it. Like I did not know that the grays were gonna bloom the way they did. It's just a small, with mixed media and the way I work, like it wasn't a big deal, but it was not reacting the way the ultramarine blue does, just because it's structured differently. It's made up of different paint pigments and what have you. So that's just one thing I learned. But more importantly for me is I learned, I'm learning about my visual language. Like I do prefer the blue. And another reason why I prefer the blue is it just contrasts so beautifully with the rich, warm color of the burnt sienna. Like it's the really, really warm and then the really, really cool. So I really love that contrast. So I'm just learning a lot about my visual language and what I love, what I do love neutrals, don't get me wrong. So I'm just gonna kind of work on this a little bit, and I don't want to like fuss with it. But you guys, every time I say I don't want to fuss with something, I end up fussing with it. It's just kind of like, I don't know why. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I like this better, to be honest with you. I'm still kind of wishing I could use my blue. Even though I do really love parts of it, like I do love neutrals and I do love grays. So when I get this out and I really look at parts of it, I isolate it, I really do like some of what's going on. But just as a whole, I would prefer to use my ultramarine blue. And I'm just going to drop a little bit of this in here. Okay, you guys, I don't know. I honestly don't know that it made that much of a difference, but you know, I like it a little bit better now than I did when I, like when I first came to it. But you know, yeah, I still want to reach for my blue, I think. I'm not going to, but I want to. So anyways, you guys, this is the end of this video. I'm going to leave it alone. I am not going to work on this anymore. I'm just going to chalk it up to, hey, I did it. I learned a lot from it, and that's good enough. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.